Hello, Merry Christmas, or Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Happy holidays, and
Chris McClansica.
yeah, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Happy Toyotathon, um, Honda Days, whatever you want to call it, and welcome to the Asylum, the month of Dismember, but this one doesn't really fit into the month of Dismember motif in the
Because it's
slightest.
rated G.
G
TVG.
Yeah, G for kids. That's what G stands for. I'm your host, Don, and with me today, as almost always, is Jeremiah.
And let's just put it this way: my kids did a double feature with this film. They watched this one and The Dog Who Saved Christmas, mostly
That's right.
because Tubi said to watch it,
That's right. We are here to talk about Bone Alone.
or as we call it in America, Alone for Christmas, because they realized that Bone Alone would definitely get the wrong algorithm.
It would definitely get the wrong outcome.
This stars David DeLuise, Kevin Sorbo. Well, stars Kevin Sorbo. He's in there. Um, and Kim Little's back in this one, who was in a few other Asylum movies. She's of course, in Z Nation. If you've watched Z Nation, she's in Sharknado. She's in War of the Worlds 2. She's in a lot of these ones we've talked about.
Oh, she's the fake Southern doctor.
Correct.
For the Worlds 2. That's why she looked familiar.
But this is directed by the guy who did Age of the Hobbits. This is a G-rated Christmas movie in the vein that's a mockbuster of Home Alone, with the effects of stuff like cats and dogs. There's lots of talking pets in this one. All I did is tell my kids, kids, we're going to watch a dog version of Home Alone, and they were in.
That's entirely what this is. It is 100% a dog version of Home Alone. So it starts off, the opening credits shows that there's like these two dogs. One's big dog, one's little dog. Little dog, super energetic. Big dog, super calm, because that's how dogs are. And the little dog like gets into trouble a lot, but the big dog always gets blamed for it, which is messed up. Like nobody ever sees anything get broken, so they just blame it on the big dog. And that's like the opening credits, and then which is animated, which I thought was pretty nice. And then we get the actual opening of the movie where little dog Columbus hears somebody screaming for help, so he goes to investigate, and he rips open the birthday or the Christmas presents underneath the tree to find a Wet Myself doll, and obviously Bone. That's the big dog, which is why the movie was called Bone Alone. So it's like a multi-tier pun that I really appreciate. But Bone gets blamed for it, and he's like, "Well, that's messed up." So the family is going to go visit their grandma and grandpa. So they are going to drop Bone off at like a kennel for a night or a week or something like that, and then go visit grandma and grandpa with a little dog, which is messed up. Like, that's all I gotta say about that. That's messed up. Like if you're not gonna
Grandma and Grandpa are Santa.
Santa and Mrs. Claus. That is true.
Grandpa Santa?
Yeah, Grandpa is Santa. There's they have two children, a boy and a girl. The little girl is adorable. I watched this movie with my wife, and in the background, when Jake, the postal worker, shows up and is like talking to the mom, the little girl's in the background packing for their trip, and she's just like packing her stuffed animals into a roller bag, and then she just like is pouring candy into it, and it's super cute, and I was just laughing the whole time. um but yeah, so there's two kids, the little girl and the boy, who is rude, I think is the best way to put it. He just complains the whole movie about it being the worst Christmas ever, until the end where he's like, it's the best Christmas ever. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that's
I will say that, and then Kevin Sorbo's in here as one of the bad, dumb guys. I find it really weird, though, that he's introduced in a scene that is basically the intro to Jaws. Why?
Why not?
So this movie is Home Alone. people are trying to rob a house. The dog's there to stop them. But unlike Home Alone, there's really no reason why they just rob the house
and leave. They're
but
just hanging out the whole time.
I will
One
say
of them,
I did laugh though at the credits because the credits I was like, huh, who voiced Columbus the dog? Oh, Torpedo. And then I realized, wait. There also says Gerald Webb. And I realized Torpedo, all these like Torpedo, Hitchcock, Cheyenne, those are all names of the dogs. And then there's actual voice actors. Um, some of these ones, but so I had my kids watch this because it is definitely more aimed at them.
yeah.
And last year, because the new Home Alone movie came out, my kids wanted to watch every Home Alone movie. So for Christmas last year, we watched all of them.
What is that? 5?
I was surprised. I actually liked 4 and 5 a lot more than I thought I would. But I think once you watch Paw Patrol and a lot of Cocomelon, your resistance of like, oh, this is watchable, suddenly things become better.
I gotta get
So I just told my kids it's Home Alone. They were into it. And my son was like, why would the dogs create booby traps? They should just eat the face. Like,
because
what? And rip out their throats. I'm like,
they had to find their bite, Jeremiah.
This is a kid movie. He's like, I know it'd be so much quicker if they just ripped out the guy's throats.
Well, yeah. So these
violence.
These robbers are
terrible,
impressively inept. I
turned around and then I look back up and Kevin Sorbo has a fishing pole and he's attached to one of them and he's fishing. I'm like, what the heck is going on? What is that? Can you explain to me what the heck that was?
Yeah, sure. So, let's rewind the tape. So,
okay, what are they trying to steal? I missed this.
Everything. They're just trying to steal.
So did my kids.
Yeah. So they're just trying to. There's 3 robbers. Jake, Rob, and Bill, I think were their names.
The Dry Bandits.
Yeah, the Dry Bandits. So Jake is the Joe Pesci. He's the one that's like scoping out the places because he pretends to. He scopes out the place. He knows that the family's leaving. So he's like, all right, family's going to be gone for a week. We got time. We're going to bust in here and we're going to steal all their stuff. They've only got one dog because they only see the little dog. It's like they've got one dog, little tiny dog, not going to matter. We're going to bust in there, rob the place. And then one of them, I think Rob is the fat one. And then Bill looks like a coked out version of Macaulay Culkin, which looks like Macaulay Culkin, who's obsessed with food. He's eating the entire movie. He just goes into their kitchen, steals their food, and starts eating the whole movie. So their plan is just to steal whatever they can steal. Like whatever they can get their hands on that's like easily resellable, they're going to steal. Which kind of makes sense, but then there's a scene where Jake is singing Mr. Grinch to himself, but replacing Grinch with Jake, and he's stealing the ornaments off the tree, which makes no sense because I can't imagine the resale value on Christmas tree ornaments is going to be very high. But that's what he does. So they're there to rob the place, and immediately things start going haywire for them because this impressively well-trained dog has been
has an awful lot of time to prepare for robbers, like days. I don't understand why, but okay.
Yeah, so he's setting up traps, and his traps are working pretty successfully. So at one point, they're like all standing around in the foyer of the house, and the dog is holding a rope that is holding a chandelier above them. And he drops the chandelier, and that's when Jake's like, that's it. I'm calling in an expert. Call my cousin Vernon, which is Quentin, thank you. Cousin Quentin, who is Kevin Sorbo. So Kevin Sorbo is a guy who is ostensibly a animal catcher for like, I guess the pound or whatever. But in actuality, what he does is he kidnaps rich people's pets and then holds them for ransom. So like he kidnaps like rich lady's dog, and the rich lady then puts out a missing reward poster, and then he's like calls her up and is like, hey, I have your dog. I will give it back to you for whatever. And his requests are absurd and funny, but absurd. So he's a like expert animal catcher essentially, which is why they call him in on this case. So they bring him in to catch the dog. he tells an awesome story, which is also reminiscent of Jaws, about poodles eating people alive in the ocean. Wonderful. Yep. And then his plan to catch the dog is that he has a fishing pole that he attaches a stake to, and the dog is going to eat the steak, and then he's going to reel it in, which obviously doesn't make any sense, but whatever. So the dog finds the steak and takes it and throws it into the fat guy's pants while he's taking a poop. And which I had the subtitles on for this because I always have subtitles on, and they actually subtitled like pooping as yeah. So he throws it into his pants, and then they start to like he gets up, pulls the pants up, right, and so they start reeling him in. So then it's like a battle between Kevin Sorbo with his fishing pole and Fat Dude, and eventually the pole snap or the string snaps. But that's what was happening there.
Okay, because I was like, what the heck? He's suddenly reeling his friend up. Yeah, so this, I will say that Bruce says his favorite part of this movie is when a kid falls down and burns his face on the ground.
That was
he likes the pain.
That was a grill. He burned his face on the grill.
He likes the pain. I'm like, that's why you watch these movies.
So there's a lot of really ridiculous things that happen in this movie.
Think every Home Alone movie ever. That type of stuff all happens, but it's done by dogs. The dogs' mouths are animated like cats and dogs. That style of animation. The voice acting is pretty terrible.
It is. It's very bad.
I will say this. I was looking at like the guy who plays Grandpa Santa. I was like, that guy looks familiar, and I look him up like, oh yeah, because he's in every terrible movie ever. Because like he's in War of the Worlds 2. He's in Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. He's in Mega Piranha. He's in Clash of the Empires. Yes, he is. He's in Hansel and Gretel. He's in Airplane vs. Volcano, which I saw. He's in Avengers Grimm. He's in Erotic Vampires of Beverly Hills. Wait, he's in All Hallows Eve 2, which I believe you just watched, yes?
No, I haven't seen All Hallows Eve 2 yet. I've seen All Hallows Eve, Terrifier, and Terrifier 2, which got demonetized.
But he's in Piranha Women. What the heck is that? Oh no. Oh no. Why would you do this, Asylum?
Why wouldn't
you? No.
Why would you not do this, Asylum?
It says Full Moon and Asylum. No.
It's a good combination right there.
No, terrible combination. But he's in all sort of things. The acting wasn't terrible in this. It's just basically the same as any non-Macaulay Culkin Home Alone movie.
Pretty much.
Oh, maybe not the third one. The third one did have Scarlett Johansson and actual actors, I know. But
yeah, before she was famous.
I know, but she's still better than pretty much anyone in this movie as far as acting.
Yeah, the guy who played Santa Claus was really bad. His acting.
And the carolers are bad because they clearly didn't know the Christmas songs they were singing. Like they get like, "Hark the herald angels sing, hark the herald angels sing, glory to the hark the herald angels." Like,
yeah, it was pretty good. They obviously just randomly pulled some people like, "Hey, sing a Christmas song." They're like, but the fat guy was really into it, so that's good. There are some amazing special effects in this movie. Kevin Sorbo gets exploded, and it is wonderful how he gets exploded. But my absolute favorite part of this movie is at one point, Bone covers the daughter's stuffed animals with glue that never dries until something comes into contact with it. But he covers her stuffed animals with glue, and then he manages to trip Jake, and he falls on top of the stuffed animals. And then for the rest of the movie, he is covered in stuffed animals, and every time
in a way that makes no sense why they'd be attached to him that way. Zero sense why they'd be attached to him that way at all, or why they'd squeak.
Every time he moves, they just like squeak, 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 squeak. Everything he does. He just squeaks.
And then he's looking at shoes, trying to figure out how to do. So he puts on high heels because that'll protect his feet. Because apparently he knows how to walk in heels. He has talent.
Don't judge Jake, Jeremiah. Don't judge him.
I will judge Jake. I will judge him.
But yeah.
Yes.
amazing special effects as you would expect from Asylum, a level of detail that was just top notch. Asylum details. Yeah, I love seeing Kevin Sorbo explode. That was fantastic because he steps in his rubber-soled shoes onto a plastic railroad that has a cattle prod attached to it. He explodes.
Like my kids did enjoy it. Unabashedly.
I'm gonna be.
I would not watch it myself.
I'm gonna be honest. I loved it. My wife and I watched this, and we enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm going to go ahead and give a hot take and say that this is the best Home Alone movie without Macaulay Culkin in it. Hot take.
It's better than the new one, for sure.
Well, it's
basically the villain because he. We're not talking about that. We are not talking about that.
Stole the doll. Anyway, I enjoyed the newest.
It's at least on par with Home Alone 4 and 5. I don't know. I got annoyed with all the. I'm not a necessarily talking dog person right now, but it's rated G. It wasn't aimed at me. It's not the type of movie I watch in general. My kids liked it. My kids liked it enough that they watched the other movie. Yeah, they liked the other one a bit better. But it's good for young kids, which is surprising because this is the Asylum where there could be lesbians halfway through this just making out and having a three-way.
Scenes in it, but this one did not, thankfully.
That would have been awkward.
It would have been awkward. I'm like I said, hot take. Third best Home Alone movie ever made. I might add this to my yearly Christmas movie watch list, which my yearly Christmas movie watch list is Die Hard, the greatest Christmas movie of all time, Scrooged, the second greatest Christmas movie of all time. That's my watch list. This might be number 3.
So let's look at some of these. So cover, cute.
That's Columbus. He's adorable.
Voice actor. There's Grandpa Santa Claus. I just like the line like Grandpa Santa,
right?
At least it's filmed a bit better than most of them. Kevin Sorbo. There's the carolers. This guy was so into it. The black guy.
He was so into it.
He even got a costume with a cape.
Yeah, right? Everybody else is just dressed. There's Macaulay Culkin, but not Macaulay Culkin. I don't know what he did with that deer.
A German Shepherd is quite a terrifying dog to have go at you.
That's very true.
The frying pan. At least the dog doing this is at least more believable than the T-Rex stealing the stuff last time. The
dog just gently beating the guy over the head with the frying pan.
The skateboard.
The skateboard, yeah. Like I said, this is an impressively well-trained dog. Because the dog was moving all the things around and carrying the frying pan, all that stuff. The dog was doing all of that. So pretty impressive. Is the cute.
Yeah. I just find it kind of impressive that, the movie worked. Is it good? It's like Hallmark movie. Hallmark movie's good? No, but they're enjoyable trash you watch around Christmas time because you know what's going to happen and it's going to be cheesy. That bone, though, looks really bad.
Yeah.
Cupcake.
Poor Cupcake.
Yeah. Dog trainers.
Jamie Day, Vicky Day.
This movie also had a weird number of bonus featurettes, which I find kind of disturbing.
Bill, that was the other one's name, not Bill. Bill.
Kevin Yarborough voices Cupcake. Yep, there's the guy who worked for Weta. We did Lord of the Rings, and then did Age of the Hobbits, because clearly if you do Return of the King, you're going to do Age of the Hobbits, and they're going to be perfectly okay with it.
It's going to be wonderful.
And he made this movie. I do like his shirt, though. Do you see it?
Yeah. Exercise.
Some motivation required.
It's good.
But, yeah, the movie's fine. It's good for young kids. It's definitely one that you could actually have on. I could have on with my kids present and not be like,
Yeah,
we can't watch this.
there are a fair share of Asylum movies where I'm just like, I feel guilty that my daughter is awake while I'm watching.
Biling might fall out of her shirt at any time.
If only.
But yeah, it's G. It means G, which is really rare for movies to get anyway nowadays. Yeah, I do find it funny though that they the dogs name a chair the chair of torture, and then they know about Guatemalan waterboarding.
They're very well educated.
What does the family watch?
I don't know. Given the kids' attitude, probably some pretty messed up stuff, honestly.
Well, the kids do want. What was the movie that they watched in this one? There was a movie. What were they watching? Age of the Hobbits.
Clash of the Empires.
Clash of the Empires. Sorry, that's the name that WB wants us to say. But
Clash. Maybe
yeah.
maybe watching Clash of the Empires. You can come join me if you want.
No, thank you. But yeah, it's not made for me, but it's completely inoffensive.
Yeah. On our sliding scale of Asylum films, I feel like this is going to be a video that Jeremiah and I disagree on. I put this as my number 3 Asylum movie. Number 1, Zombies. Number 2, Avengers Grimm. Number 3, Bone Alone.
I put it somewhere in the middle. It's just completely. It exists.
So I told
it
you
didn't offend me.
We were going to disagree on this. I loved it. I laughed the entire time. It was hilarious.
But my kids liked it, so that's perfectly fine. But what are we gonna watch next time?
I don't know. What are we gonna watch next time?
Let's pull up the picker wheel again, and see what it makes us watch.
Magical wheel that told us.
It's gonna be the 9/11 Commission report, because we're all dreading that. It's gonna happen eventually. We're gonna see what that is and why it exists.
Okay. Wheel of Asylum. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the movie that we will burn. Ghost Hunters film.
Alrighty then.
Ghost Hunters. All right, first let me check Just Watch and make sure we can just watch it.
We can actually watch it.
Oh gosh. Come on, there we go.
You have the app, or do you have it on your computer?
I have the app. Oh, wait. Ghost.
Oh wait. That's the TV show.
Hunter.
Wish Ghost Hunters, was a more original name.
Is this the 2016 movie? Or is it the 2015 Ghost Hunters on Icy Trails? I have 2 Ghost Hunters that popped up here.
Let me see.
This one, I think I may have actually seen. It's on Tubi. And there's another
2016.
one. The 2016 one? The one titled just Ghost Hunters?
Yep.
That.
It looks like it directed by Perry Reginald Theo, starring Liz Fenning.
Liz Fenning, Anna Har, and Stephen Manley. Yep, so this is on Tubi, and I actually may have already seen this, believe it or not.
Is this a found footage movie?
Odds are.
Well, I hope it's better than the last time.
I mean, anything's better than Monster.
No, there's a lot worse than Monster. Monster at least had a plot and actors that we somewhat cared about.
There is Blair Witch.
We just wish we could actually see it.
It's true. Monster would have been great if we could have seen anything that was actually happening in that movie. Would have been great.
Well,
but yeah, so that's
that's
our thoughts on Bone Alone, also known as Alone for Christmas.
Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.